Hi there, I'm Vincent Bos, and I'm a life coach, relationship coach, and breakup coach. You can change the language of this podcast in the YouTube video settings. And in today's podcast, we're going to be discussing Make Your Ex Regret Discarding You. I provide audio coaching for breakup recovery, trying to get an ex back, attracting someone new, and life coaching. Visit www.dateme.tips for more details. Please check your spam and junk folders if you are expecting an email from me. Subscribe to my weekly support emails. The link is in the description. So now let's get back into today's podcast. And today we are discussing Make Your Ex Regret Discarding You. So if you have been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you need them to shift their mindset. In today's podcast, I'll be discussing 3 ways to make your ex regret discarding you. So let's get straight into this, and point number 1 is the definition. Now let me know in the comments if you feel that your ex has discarded you. Let me know in the comments and let's see what the community thinks. And point number 1 of today's podcast, as I've just said, is the definition. And the definition of discard is to get rid of someone or something that is no longer useful or desirable. And this gives us 2 subpoints. How can you be more useful, and how can you be more desirable to your ex? Because when we're talking about the broader point of today's podcast, which is making your ex regret discarding you, in essence, we need to be doing the opposite of what the definition of discarding is. As I said, it gives us 2 subpoints, because if we are to consider that discarding is when somebody is to discard or get rid of someone that is no longer useful or desirable, well, we need to become useful or desirable to them. But we need to be making sure that we are doing it for us and not our ex. We can't be living our life where we push them onto a pedestal and they become our king or our queen. No, we need to be doing this for ourselves, for our own self-confidence, self-worth, raising our self-esteem, becoming a version 2.0 of ourselves, and becoming the type of person which, as a byproduct of that, is more attractive to those other people. And in this instance, of course, we are considering our ex. So let's look at the first subpoint, how to be more useful to your ex. Well, let's consider the relationship that you actually had with your ex, which unfortunately fell apart. Now, for various potential reasons, your ex, the dumper, lost romantic emotional attraction towards you. Now, it could, of course, been for an almost infinite amount of possibilities, but I'm told often by dumpers that they are ending the relationship because they feel they are going on a different path to their now dumpee. In essence, they are feeling that they are outgrowing their now ex. They believe that they want to go down one path and their ex, the dumpee, is sticking where they are. In essence, not even necessarily going down a different path, just staying exactly at the same point. They have outgrown them. And hence, that is a very common reason, I'm told, that people end relationships. So we can really connect that to the thought of being more useful in regards to ourselves, and the byproduct of which being to our ex, the dumper. So if we reach for the stars, if we set ourselves goals, if we have dreams and aims which don't just stay as dreams, but actually become aims that we can head towards, achieve, and when we have achieved that goal, we set ourselves a new one further down the line. That is where we are seeing the self-growth. That is where we can really raise our confidence and our self-esteem, and that is the whole byproduct effect I've been talking about in point number 1, where your ex-the dumper would see you as more useful in regards to being more useful to their own life journey. Now you might think, well, this isn't just about being useful to a partner. Well, no, like I said, it's got to be something that you're doing for you, but the benefit of which is they will find it attractive as well. And as I've just mentioned, lots of dumpers end relationships because they believe they want to move the relationship forward and their ex-dumpee doesn't. That's when we break it down and we see where the usefulness could be. If you as a partner are not helping move a relationship along, your now ex-dumper has probably come to that conclusion to end the relationship due to the fact you're not useful on this life journey they are heading, because they want to do A, B, and C, and you in essence are holding them back. So as long as you want to move your life forward in an honest and genuine way, this is where it could connect to your former partner. Now, perhaps you want to move your life forward, but it is in a completely different direction to your ex. That's absolutely fine, and you should still be doing this if it is authentically you. But we can't then be expecting our now ex to want to align in that regard. However, this is where you may have heard the term opposites can attract. Even if you are heading in a completely different direction to your ex-dumper, there is always the possibility that the fact you are showing ambition, the fact that you are showing a desire for life, the fact that you are showing growth, that might be enough to re-attract your now dumper, even though you're not necessarily heading in the exact same direction. So as you can see, do things for you. It increases the chance of improving yourself in everybody's eyes, including your ex. Now, the second sub-point that we were going to talk about in point number 1 was how to be more desirable. But remember, within the definition, people who are not deemed desirable are also discarded. How can you be more desirable? Well, physical attraction is really, really important within a romantic relationship. Whatever anybody might try and tell you, it is hugely important in connecting people in a romantic sense. It doesn't matter if you look at this as some type of old mentality. The reality is, but it's biology. The difference between platonic friendship and romantic relationship is in essence intimacy. It is that physical attraction which is the tipping point, you could say, in most instances of romantic relationships. So how can we be more desirable? Well, I would suggest that you focus on your health and fitness. If you concentrate on making sure you get enough exercise, that you eat healthy, that you get enough sleep, that you remove bad substances from your life, you're naturally going to become a healthier person. And what's the byproduct of this? Well, you become more physically attractive to anybody who sees you. So if we want to become desirable to our ex-dumper, if we want to do the opposite of them discarding us and instead almost reel them in towards us, we need to be seen as more useful, and we need to be seen as that more desirable in a physically attractive sense. Work on you physically, mentally, spiritually, goals, health, everything combined, and you will not only improve your life, you will make yourself more appealing to your ex. So now let's get into point number 2 and the second point of today's podcast. Please give this video a like and let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you like my content, subscribe to the channel to keep updated. And point number 2 is surround yourself with high quality people. So today we're speaking about to make your ex regret discarding you. And point number 2 is really, really important. And that is surrounding yourself with high quality people. Because who we surround ourselves with ultimately becomes who we are as a person. We are very much influenced by the people we spend the most time with. And with me suggesting that you surround yourself with high quality people, this might be a situation where you want to add more people to your circle, or it could be that you want to go in a completely new direction and almost start again. Now, please don't get me wrong. I'm not suggesting that you just stop talking to friends you've had your whole life. I'm not suggesting that you walk away from family. I'm not suggesting that you start again in that regard unless you are going through a really difficult time and you genuinely believe that all of those people are toxic within you and towards you. So this is something that you need to be doing a little bit of work on yourself and really analysing about who is good for you and who isn't. If you think, okay, this person, they might not be the perfect person, but they've been in my life forever, I really love them, they're my best friend, I'm not suggesting you stop talking to them. But what I am suggesting is that you add people to your circle who are going to add that quality. And when I say quality, I mean from all angles, whether it is intellectually, whether it is from a creative standpoint, whether it is stylistically, but mainly just being a motivated person who's going to encourage you to be making those right choices. I'm not saying that you need to surround yourself with coaches, okay, because they wouldn't be authentic friends for you. If you want a life coach, well, that's my role. You might want to consider my audio coaching service, but I'm talking about people who can actually blend into your life as genuine friends that you see in a physical sense, but they are better quality people. Now, how do you find them? Well, you need to ask yourself, what type of people could benefit you? Where do you believe you are lacking in this regard? In fact, this could be something that theoretically me and you could speak about during one of my audio coaching calls, trying to find the gaps in your life of the type of people that you need to be within it, and therefore, where are you likely to find them? Remember, we're not talking about finding professional coaches and the like to be with you in a physical sense. No, we're talking about actually building new connections, friendships, even if they're just acquaintances that you see at a new class group or club that you have joined. If you are seeing them regularly, it's going to rub off on you. You know, the way they act, the way they hold themselves, the way they carry themselves and reach for the stars. If you are surrounding yourself with people on an upward trajectory, you are likely to follow that curve as well. Sadly, the opposite is also true. Hence, what I was saying earlier, about really analysing, who do you spend the most time with? Are they really good for you? Are they people that you need to take a step back from? Or are these people that you can still have in your life, but you just need to add a few more? Now, they don't have to necessarily be people who are actually at your house watching TV with. As I mentioned a second ago, these could be acquaintances or friends you make at a class group or club that you have joined, but maybe you just see once or twice a week at the given venue that you are going to attend that particular situation. So in essence, this is something which is quite broad. It's something which can be different and unique to each individual person. But in essence, if you surround yourself with high quality people, you are going to improve, learn and grow by sharing and learning from the circle of people you spend that time with. If your expert-dumper sees this, whether it is in person, whether it is things that they read or see on social media, whether it is friends of friends passing this information on about you, this is where they can really start to regret discarding you, because they will see you improving, growing and achieving as a person in a way that they didn't predict. And that is where the regret can really start to set in. Now, if you would like advice and support about how to try and increase the chance of one day getting your ex back, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one about your unique specific situation. This is the best and diamond level of support that I can provide. Go to my website www.dateme.tips for more information about how I can become your coach and your teammate via my audio coaching service. Talking about your feelings can also improve your mental health. It helps prevent the buildup of negative emotions, which can lead to stress, anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues. Speak your heart to free your mind. So now let's get into point number 3 and the final point of today's podcast. If you feel that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description. And point number 3 is don't speak badly about them. So today we're speaking about make your ex regret discarding you. And point number 3 is hugely important, but in some regards is quite simple. Don't speak badly about your ex. Now maybe you want to, maybe you feel you deserve to, maybe you feel it's something that they need to hear, maybe it's something that you believe you just want to speak about to certain friends. The truth is that if you speak badly about your ex, they will likely at some stage find out. Maybe you are doing it directly, maybe you're doing it indirectly, you don't want them to hear, but sadly it is passed on, or it's something that they see, read or hear about. If they do come into contact with your negativity, the likelihood is they will believe they've made the right choice in ending your relationship and not regret their decision. Now, does this mean you have no right to be angry? No, I'm not suggesting that. Going through grief, which you likely are, means that you will go through the stages of grief, and that anger and frustration is very, very natural. It's not something that I'm suggesting you should never feel. Anger, frustration, maybe even a little bitterness, but it is something that you need to work through as best you can and not put on your ex-dumper, especially if you want to reconnect with them, because negativity is not going to bring them back. Whether or not you feel that they deserve what you want to tell them, it isn't going to help. So yes, the frustration is natural, the anger somewhat understandable, the bitterness unfortunate, but we all go through it. But you must make sure it is something you go through and not get stuck in. But if you get stuck in the negativity, not only won't you attract your ex back, but you won't attract anybody at all. That is why I suggest we try to live our life as best we can in a happy, carefree and fun mindset. It's not always possible, but we need to try and be that way as naturally and as often as possible. If you believe that you can't get through without the negativity coming out of you, you need to make sure you're releasing that emotion in a safe space. Speaking to a trusted friend or family member that is not connected to your ex, because if they are, unfortunately, it will likely get back to them, or alternatively, a counsellor or a coach, such as myself, via my audio coaching service. You need to release your emotion in a safe way to work through your feelings. But if you tell your ex directly or indirectly where they might find out, unfortunately, they're not going to take that well.